Hello all, welcome to the course Food Processing Waste Management. My name is Syed Abdul, working as Assistant Professor under NPIU at Harcourt Butler Technical University, Kanpur. So in the previous sections, we have discussed ISO 14001 series, its importance, environmental management system and different phases of environmental management system implementation. So now we will see what are the various components involved in the environment management system and how a food engineer or a food technocrat can identify those which are having impact on the environment, considering food industry as an organization. So let us start. So we will be seeing food sector as an organization and the inputs and outputs and what are the effects of the inputs on the environment as well as the outputs of the organization on the environment. So if you look at the whole agro-food sector could be thought of as an organization or only food packaging unit or a certain food industry or even part of an industry. So if you want to look it as an organization, you can consider any one of the above. Yeah, you can take whole industry or only a packaging unit or a certain part of the industry can be considered as organization. But here in this sector, we'll see the whole entire agro-food sector is considered as the organization. And if you look at the organization, its interactions with environment, if you look at there are some inputs. For every organization there are inputs such as raw materials, water, energy, and in the organization you may be doing the packaging of the food material, or you are converting the raw material into a product, that is product manufacturing, or simply you are performing post harvesting operations in case of fruits and vegetables, or you simply primary production, that means you are converting the fruit into a pulp, then you are packing it. So all these operations comes under this organization, and after the operations you get the products, you may get the byproducts, and you get waste in the form of air, liquid, solids. So if you take the example of a fruit and vegetable processing industry, the raw materials are your fruits and vegetables. Water is also there. Water is not also used in processing, but it also used in cleaning and hygiene, cleaning of the equipment. So water need to be treated separately. Then energy is required. You need to heat the food material, you need to supply the heat, energy. So these are your raw materials, and you may go for the packaging of the fruits as such after washing and sorting, or you can go for converting the fruit into a pulp, or and further converting into RTS, cardial, squash, nectar, or you can simply post harvest or pre-cool the product. So at the end you will get products. These products may be whole fruits and vegetables or processed fruits and vegetables, and you can get byproducts such as peel of the fruit, peel of the vegetable, seeds or cores from the vegetable, pomace in case of some fruits, and waste. So whenever you operate such a certain machinery, when you use diesel as a source of energy, so that time there is polluted air releasing from that equipment, and liquid which is used in cleaning the equipments, washing the raw material, and solids such as your waste. Okay. So even if you look at any industry, there is a steam boiler which may be operated on the basis of diesel or on the basis of coal. So that time also there is release of polluted air. So these are the outputs. So that will be released into the environment, right? So if you look at food industry as an organization, it consists of primary production, post harvesting, production and packaging. These are the operations that can be performed in the food industry when you consider it as an organization, and the inputs will be raw materials, water and energy. This we have. Water is considered separately because of its importance not only in the manufacturing but also for cleaning and hygiene. Attention has to be paid of the life cycle analysis of the inputs. So if you look at the life cycle analysis, that means where the raw material is coming from and how it is going to be end. So in this in the process, if the raw material is contaminated with pesticides, so that is a problem to the environment. So being an engineer or being a food technocrat, it is your need to check whether it is contaminated with pesticides. So water is also important. Where is it taken from, what is the source of the water, so what is the composition or what is the analysis of it, after analysis what is its composition, is water quality conforming to the specification in the various uses of the water inside the organization. So there are certain specifications for potable water, so whether this water is conforming to those standards or not. So all these steps to be taken should be taken care by the food engineers or food technocrats. So similarly to the energy, where is the energy coming from, whether the source is renewable energy source or non-renewable energy source, or if it is a conventional source or non-conventional source, whether the energy is environmentally friendly source, energy source is environmentally friendly or not. So all these things to be taken care by the food engineers or food. So the latter question is a crucial one. If a food activity is planned for many decades to come, then it should be taken into consideration that the conventional resources, so the conventional energy resources we know that are oil, natural gas and hydrocarbons, so they are limited and are more or less environmentally friendly. You can say more environmentally unfriendly here. Okay. Also are the outputs of the organization recycled. Sometimes these outputs such as water, wastewater can be recycled and can be used. Okay. Sometimes energy also could be used as an input. So we have to take care of all those things. These questions and trying to find out the right answers will enable one to tackle the environmental problems in a creative way. The engineers technocrats will face three big questions: how to avoid the contamination of raw materials from pesticides and other pollutants so that the product is not contaminated, as well as the outputs which are released into the environment are not contaminated; how to provide environment friendly produced water to the organization; how to provide environmentally friendly produced energy to the organization. So if you can answer these questions, so you can simply will be able to implement the that is environment management system. So as shown in the figure, there are three kinds of outputs. If you talk about outputs, the products, the byproducts, the waste. So special care should be taken in order to avoid raw material contamination and contamination from the production line itself. Therefore hygienic design is needed, right? So you can, as a when you work in an industry, you cannot avoid raw material contamination, but you can select those suppliers who can take care of the raw material contamination or prevent the raw material contamination. But during production, if you don't follow hygienic principles, good hygienic practices and good manufacturing practices, so there may be contamination of the product. So this need to be take care because the products are released into the environment. Similarly, the byproducts, the similar care what you have taken to the products is need to be taken to the byproducts as well. Waste effluents, so these waste effluents are to the air. If you are using any equipment which runs on diesel or coal to the surface waters, after cleaning, the wastewater is released into the surface waters and to the soil or to the groundwater. The waste could also be gas emissions from the equipment, liquid phases, aqueous, or of different solvents which are used in laboratory, and solids. So solids here, in if you take food industry, most of the solid waste is from packaging material. So after consumption of the food material, the package goes as the waste. So these are the various problems associated with the implementation of environment management system. So being a food engineer or technocrat, need to understand these problems and should have knowledge to take care of these problems, right? So with this we will come to the end of, we will see in ISO 14001 part 3. Thank you.